This is my wife, Andrea, and as long as I've known her, she's had this knack for taking old, outdated things and turning them into something beautiful. So after seeing this about 1,000 times, I took it upon myself to make her a channel because she wouldn't do it herself. And so now I'm super excited to share with you the creative adventures of my DIY wife. Hey everyone, welcome back. It's Dean and Andrea, and today we're bringing you another furniture flip, one that is pretty fantastic.
I picked this piece up on Facebook Marketplace for $60 and was really excited to get it just because it's a totally different style than we've ever done before.
We are really excited about the way this piece turned out. We're even going to show you some of the behind the scenes from the design process all the way through to the end of this piece, and so we can't wait to show it to you.
But before we dive into our video for today, we want to say thank you to today's sponsor, Cove Audio. They sent us their commuter portable Bluetooth speaker and we have been loving it. If you know anything about us, you know that Dean is a musician and I actually have music playing all the time in our house. And we actually have two other small Bluetooth speakers that we use pretty much daily, and neither one of them even comes close in the volume and sound quality.
There's something beautiful about you. You walk in grace, always in full truth.
And one of my favorite features of this speaker is it actually comes apart so you can get that surround sound effect, or if you're working like me and you're moving back from place to place, it's just really handy to leave one speaker over here, one speaker over there. Or we have 4 kids and our kids listen to audiobooks all the time, but they'll be in separate bedrooms and fighting over who has the phone. And so with these, we just connect it to the Bluetooth. Here's your speaker in your room, here's yours in your room, and they're both happy, they both can hear it. So check out the link in the description for this exact speaker and make sure to use code DIYWIFE for a really great discount. And now let's jump into today's furniture flip.
We started things out as we usually do by laying down a drop cloth just to make sure we don't get any paint on the driveway, and I worked extra hard to make sure it was very straight.
I picked up this piece because I knew it was going to be a solid, high quality piece, and I really liked just the unique modern shape with those cool inset handles. Step 1 for me is always taking off all of the hardware and removing the drawers.
When you take apart a dresser, you never know what you might find inside of it. What do we have here? Just read it for us. Dude.
I love you, Henry, and you mean the world to me.
I love you, Henry.
I want to be yours forever and you be mine. Oh, that's sweet.
It is very sweet. We found a sweet note, an actual love letter in the dresser.
I knew I wanted to keep the drawer fronts stained, but I wasn't crazy about that speckled, shiny finish on them, and so I started out by using an 80 grit sandpaper to sand off the old finish. I went back over everything with 120 grit sandpaper just to get a smoother finish, and this was definitely the most time-consuming part of this flip. Okay, so I have one spot on this drawer where the veneer lifted a little bit. I didn't realize it was lifting, and I hit it with the sander and it lifted it more and it broke off a little piece. Thankfully, it's like going with the wood grain, the piece that's missing, so I'm just going to use some stainable wood filler and it won't be noticeable, but I'm going to use some super glue just to glue this part that is lifted back down. So once I stain this, it shouldn't be noticeable at all, since like I said, it goes with the wood grain. It's that little piece right there that's missing. And then you just want to hold it down firmly until that glue dries, usually about a minute or so, depending on your glue.
So what do you need?
Wood filler pencil. In less than 30 minutes.
Alright, so I've been sent on a mission to Lowe's. This is actually a semi-common thing. If Andrea is heavy into a job and like today she needs to just keep sanding and knock that out, I will typically run to Lowe's and grab the goods. Today we are getting wood filler and some painter's tape, only 2 items. She has asked that I return in under 30 minutes, so we will clock this, ladies and gentlemen, to see if I actually accomplish the mission. Let's go. Big bump in the road! Lowe's, where handymen go, or where handy wives send their non-handy husbands. Item number 1. Item number 2. While I'm here, Andrea sends me a text. 2 more items, so we're up to 4 items. Item number 3. Final items. Do you ever find yourself walking through a store and something catches your eye and you think, I have to lay down on that? Wow, so soft. Alright, boys and girls, well, looking at the clock here, I do have all my items. We are clocking 34 minutes in store. That's not bad. It's not exactly the 30 minutes she asked for, but I will say this, she added 3 more items, and so I'm going to give myself a credit of 15 minutes here for that little excursion. So I went from a bogey to a birdie. Let's go! Looks like we got the big dip coming up. Hit the brakes. Nope. Woo! Yeah!
Once Dean got back, I used that stainable wood filler to fill that little missing spot of veneer. With the stain I'm using for these drawers, I have found that it works best if I wipe everything down with mineral spirits first. I used General Finishes gel stain in the color Antique Walnut, and I brushed it on liberally with a cheap chip brush and then wiped it off pretty quickly with paper towels. I knew I would be painting the rest of the dresser, so I went ahead and gave everything a good cleaning with a TSP substitute.
So how good is this dresser gonna be?
It's gonna be awesome.
On a scale of 1 to 10.
It better be really awesome.
It better be really good.
It's gonna be great. I don't know.
I think it's gonna be a 10.5.
I hope so. Then I gave the entire piece a good scuff sanding with 120 grit sandpaper. After blowing everything off, I gave it another quick wipe down with a damp rag, and I know this seems like a lot of steps before you even start painting, but prep really is the key to getting a lasting finish. If ever I refinish a piece that has these metal drawer slides, I make sure to cover the slides in tape so that I don't get any overspray on them. I used Fusion Mineral paint in the color Bayberry for this piece, and this paint is thin enough that I didn't need to add any water before spraying. Woo, I like that color! I sprayed 2 coats of paint, and in between coats I did a light sanding with 220 grit sandpaper and then wiped it down. Just kind of test it out now. Look how pretty it looks! That looks good. To finish off the drawers, I use Minwax's Wipe On Poly in a satin finish for a top coat. Then finally, to finish off the dresser, I sprayed 2 coats of Varathane's water-based polyurethane in a matte finish. After that, it was time to bring everything inside and put it all back together.
This thing looks fantastic. Man, it's beautiful. I love the wood on it. I love the legs on it. Just everything about it. Man, it looks good.
Yeah, I really love the way this one turned out. I feel like the more vibrant green really just fits the style and the whole vibe of this piece, which has a little bit more of a funky shape to it, and the hardware is a little different, but man, sanding down those drawers and even just restaining them, even though it looks so similar in color, it made such a difference because we got rid of that kind of 80s speckled stain look, and it looks just so sleek and really cool. It's a fun piece.
All right, so now, as we usually do, let's talk about the numbers on this piece.
I got this piece off of Facebook Marketplace for $60, and then we put about another $80, and that includes all of our paint, the top coat, the stain, the new legs, and then I also add in some miscellaneous costs for things like sandpaper, wear and tear on tools, and things like that. We listed this piece on Facebook Marketplace for $575 and sold it within a few days, giving us a profit of $435.
And then lastly, let's talk about hours. How much time did this piece take you?
Yeah, we actually get asked about this all the time, or people just comment on it because they're like, there's no way you're making enough money. And I will say, like, I've been painting for years. These are skills that I've honed and gotten pretty efficient, which I do think that's a skill that most people can grow if you want to put in the time. So I'll just preface everything by saying that this piece, when we give our time, we're giving the time for all of it, like from shopping around on Facebook Marketplace all the way through to listing it on Facebook Marketplace, staging it, all of that. So this one was pretty quick. Our painting, staining, and everything only took us about 3 hours, but I did drive a little bit further, and so we added 2 hours of drive time. It wasn't quite 2 hours of drive time, but just with the loading and the unloading, and so we have given about 6 hours all in on this piece. And so if we divide our profit, $435 by 6, that gives us just over $72 an hour.
So we hope that gives you a little better idea of the behind the scenes of this process, at least the numbers of this process. And so that is all for this video. We definitely enjoyed this flip. We hope you did too. If you did, leave a comment below. Let us know what you thought about this flip, and we will catch you in another video very soon. Drink your water. Drink.
And now let's jump into today's furniture flip. Dang it, I can't say today's.
No, you can't.
But before we dive into today's furniture flip, dang, that's
into today's.
But before we dive into today's, shoot, can I just think of a different way to say this?
Anything in the mail? Where are those legs?
Somebody else has them.
So I'm here in Lowe's, and I cringe every time I bring a camera in here because, I mean, we love doing this, but we're not exactly like, hey, we're vloggy people. What is happening here? I don't even understand. Scoot towards me just a little bit. A little more.
Are you being serious?
Yes, I think we're all centered. We're just trying to get centered. You know how it is. Oh.
A couple of old farts. Look at us, we match.
Guess I'll start us. Are you warming up your face, or what are you doing?
Yeah, my eyeballs warmed up.
Hey everyone, welcome back. It's Dean and Andrea, and today, dude, I just can't do it. Hey everyone, welcome back. It's Dean and Andrea, and today we're bringing you another.
I was fine until you said something about not being able to hold it together, and I was like, oh, I can.
Is that okay, or is that?
About as natural as you ever do. I'm just here to boost your confidence.
I feel really deflated right now.
Got the gift of encouragement. What can I say? You could talk when I just move my mouth.
I got this piece on Facebook Marketplace for $60.
I got this piece on Facebook Marketplace for $60.
What's just have a whole
Okay.
video of outtakes, but just not even say anything coherent and we'll just.
I'm like, what are we talking about
I don't
again?
even know. We'll just show the dresser and then we'll
Yeah,
have
we
us
don't need to
do
talk.
a
We don't
bunch
need
of
to talk.
nonsense.
We're all out of words.
Stay focused.
Focus.
And so we share all of that because. What are you doing over there? Another one for the blooper reel. Well, the secret is it's our kids' first day of school. So this is the first time we've filmed a video in 3.5 months with like no one yelling in the other room.
We just don't know what to do with
We
ourselves.
literally don't even know what to do with ourselves. I mean,
We've got to interrupt ourselves.
We've got to interrupt ourselves. Man, I like the shape of this one. It's like, it's really unique. I think it looks really cool. It has a lot of potential, I would say, yeah.
Yeah, it's fun. It's definitely different than anything we've ever done. And like, I was so pleasantly surprised in just the quality of it. Like, all these drawers work perfectly. They're on these metal tracks, and it's cool. I'm excited.
It's like these metal handles. I've never seen anything like that before. Maybe you have, but that's so unique. All right, so what is the plan for this dresser? You're painting it all, are you keeping some wood? Like, kind of what are you thinking?
My first thought was do something different. I have a cool navy paint that I want to use, just paint it all. But now that I'm seeing it, I'd like to keep some wood, but I don't really know.
Yeah, well, I'm looking at it, I'm like, what if you just painted the frame of it, but left the drawers wood, or at least some of the drawers wood, because you've got like, I don't know, just such a perfect rectangular frame to kind of encapsulate the wood, you know?
Oh, that would look so cool. And these are flat. I think once I get this hardware off, I could actually like sand those down relatively easily. Maybe keep it a pretty medium dark stain on there. Just trying to get that like 80s speckled stain off.
Yeah.
That could look awesome. Are you thinking like paint this too, the middle?
I think
like
so.
T piece?
Yeah.
Okay,
like,
because
like
I would
that
think so.
middle T, just like
That
all
could
of the
look cool.
borders.
And I'm kind of stuck on the base. I'm like, do I do something feels off? Like I'm looking at my normal base, or do I do the angled legs? But it almost feels like too square with this kind of rounded front on there.
Right. So are you gonna take that bottom piece all the way off? of
Yeah,
there?
yeah. I'll take that. Should come off pretty easily. I'm gonna pull that all the way off.
But to me, I'm like, once you take that bottom piece off, it's like a perfect rectangle. It looks so modern to me. I'm like, what if you did the rounded modern legs, like you've done just those two modern legs? You know?
That like solves my problem of being too squares. I want something with round edges. That would look awesome. And then we could like paint it. We'll paint like the whole round surrounding part, paint the legs, stain the drawer fronts. I think I'm liking this. I want to do green. I have a new green I want to try. I think it would look really good with that wood color in the brass.
So like wood, green, brass.
You know I'm partial to that.
I
That's
like
cool.
it.
I'm excited about this one. It's different.
I am
It's so
too.
different than ones that we've done.
So have I actually contributed?
You have actually
to this
helped.
design
Normally I ask you,
conversation?
babe, you're learning. Look, I'm rubbing
learning.
off on you.
I'm learning from the master.
Feeling
Let's get
cool.
started.
Ready? Work team.